What's going on, man? We're working our way to Kujo beatdown, but before we get there, we have to watch Ren. Why Sick Boi is off all streaming platforms / YouTube. The Kujo beats and Ren situation. It's taking us a little while to get to the Kujo beats. That one was requested. But that being said, we wanna honor the Dawn of Rhymes request. I've been going through all of my belongings and I found this little hat here, dude. It can zip up, dude. It can be used during the winter, dude. I'm excited, dude. You guys don't understand. I love beanies. Beanies are the greatest, and it's gonna get cold in that van. So I'm fucking tuned up and I'm ready to go. Anyway, oh yeah, open up a Red Bull. We start the night. We're gonna try and be up for like until 2 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah. So I'll be on the same level of consciousness the next time I do my next reaction for Kujo beatdown. Anyway, we've been talking long enough. Dawn of Rhyme, let's get started on your videos. Dude. All right, make sure it's playing fine. Settings are good. Make sure my audio levels are picking up before I should do that every time now. Cool. We're firing on all cylinders, boys.
That I never, ever really wanted to have to make, but it's very important for me that I do.
Before we start watching, Ren, I love you, buddy, and I hope you keep doing your beautifulness. And thank you for the renegades. All right, let's do it.
All the time, artists all over the world pour their souls into their work, and that work is tainted by money or greed. A lot of you will have been asking me the question why Sick Boi has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me. It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical.
Whoa! Did we just get someone to subscribe while we're doing a reaction? Well, here's to you, D4 Pits. What's up, baby? God damn you, sexy homie.
Community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it. And we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend sticking around to the end of this video because I've got a very exciting announcement about all of this that relates to all of this right at the end. People who have been following me for a while, they'll know the sort of person I am, they know the principles that I have, and they'll know how I treat other independent artists. So
what I am going to say, now obviously with Ren it's probably different, but typically when people phrase themselves in that way that he's doing right now, that's a big red flag. You don't need to bring up your content of character. You leave that for filler people in your circle. You just need to respond to the criticisms or whatever it is by saying people who know me doesn't mean anything. You can see that with who was it, Dan Bongino? He went on Joe Rogan. He's like, you think I wouldn't give you the truth about the Epstein files? It's like, yeah, I do, because you're not doing that. Like, I don't understand where you think you get this like clout that you can just ride on. People don't know the people you know. People don't know who you are. At the end of the day, that's a red flag. Now, obviously, Ren will probably show receipts and stuff, but if you ever hear someone start phrasing questions like that in your own personal life, you need to start paying attention. When people start like claiming like some level of moral superiority or that they are better than, we need to find out why. Now, I'm not saying Ren is doing that, but when people use this language, it's usually the language of a manipulator. Doesn't mean it always is, but you got to be careful with it.
They'll know why it was so important for me to have to make this video. and I want this to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously, I'm emotionally affected by it, and that may leak in, right? But
Facts.
I want to share entire clips of these conversations so there can be no doubt. Also, if Kujo and his girlfriend want to share any more screenshots of either of those conversations, I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge so there can be no doubt. Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently
Facts. There you go.
what has happened here. To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat, arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that. I find this banging beat, right, from a producer called Kujo Beats, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very important to keep in mind for later on, right? I buy an...
Okay, so an unlimited license, usage terms is $99, used for music recordings, distributed to unlimited copies, unlimited online audio streams, 1 music video, for-profit live performances, and radio broadcasting rights, unlimited stations. So that seems like it's pretty baked into the cake right there. However, we don't know where this is from. What did you say was the website?
Stuff like that. I find this bang...
BeatStar. Okay. So, what is BeatStar? I put starts, didn't I? BeatStars. $99 package. What did he call it? He called it a what?
Banging beat, right? From a producer called Kujo Beats, which I buy an unlimited license for.
Okay, BeatStar unlimited license. What is BeatStar's unlimited license? All right. On BeatStars, an unlimited license allows you to use a beat for an unlimited amount of times, number of streams, sales, and other uses, as long as the beat is not exclusively owned by you. This means you can release your music without worrying about hitting streams or sales caps, and unlike with some other licenses, however, unlike an exclusive license, other artists can also purchase the same unlimited license, meaning you won't own the sole rights to the beat. All right. Non-exclusive nature. Unlimited licenses are typically non-exclusive, meaning the producer can sell the same beat to multiple artists. Unlimited usage. You can use the beat for an unlimited number of streams, downloads, and other uses as specified in the license agreement without worrying about caps. No ownership. While you use the beat extensively, you don't own the exclusive rights to it. Other artists can also use the same beat under their own unlimited licenses. Potential for conflicts. If multiple artists use the same beat, there's a possibility of conflicts, especially with things like YouTube Content ID, which is dog shit, or when pursuing sync opportunities. Publishing rights. With an unlimited license, producers typically retain 100% of the publishing rights, meaning they control the license for the uses beyond the initial agreement. Ooh, so that means technically the publishing rights do still belong with Kujo Beats. Cost. Unlimited licenses are generally more expensive and non-exclusive options compared to other limited licenses. This video provides a detailed... Well, I don't want to do all that. Okay. So it sounds like there's a little bit of a gray area with this particular unlimited license, because technically one person still holds the publishing rights. You you can get yourself in a sticky and hairy situation over that. Because technically, if they want to pull the publishing rights or pull their product from a thing, I think they can.
Beat, right? From a producer called Kujo Beats, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very important to keep in mind for later on, right? I buy an unlimited license, which means that I am able to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording on platforms like YouTube, etc., right? After I do this, I send my YouTube guy that I work with, and I send the publishing team an email just giving them a heads up, being like, yo guys, I bought this beat, they need to be registered correctly, content ID needs to be turned off. I'll put a clip of that. I'm putting screenshots of those messages here.
Alright, because Sick Boi was a licensed beat, thought I'd send it to you guys to make sure that nothing will be breaching the contract. We will need to turn content ID off when distributing the audio and visual.
Just in case Kujo claims I never did this, I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him.
Hey guys, can we update Spotify Apple credits, include the producers of the tracks I sent the licenses over for, please? If you read the license, it says that they need to be credited, and just from a moral standpoint, it'd be good too. It would be good. Wicked. See, I don't like it when the other response messages are redacted, because that's not transparency. That's selective transparency. That's worse than just lying. Because it does the same thing that I mock socialism for. It's the same thing as fascism, just on a different side of the spectrum. One LARPs as being kind, and the other one at least is upfront and honest. So he should probably unredact these while he's doing his thing. If you're willing to put your name on things, you should probably full send it. You know what I mean? But, you know, that's just my personal opinion on when you're making an appeal to things.
I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him on Spotify credits and stuff like that as well, because sometimes artists don't always fully credit producers. I think that I forgot to do it in the YouTube description for like the first month or two, and then I updated it, and then he was fully credited the whole time, right? That was just a lapse, because there was a lot going on. I was in Canada treating and stuff. But anyway, he was credited fully, like, very soon in everywhere. And as far as I...
Ooh, so I mean, you just... So... One thing that matters when talking about licenses, agreements, copyright, fair use, all of that stuff. These ones are a little different than most cases. Most cases involves a mens rea. That's the reason why when people talk to me about the war in Palestine, like, hey man, I think what's happening in Palestine is bad. And they're like, it's a genocide. I'm like, I don't know 100% about that phrase. I'll just say it's bad and we should seek to stop it. Just as the war, and I wouldn't call the war in Ukraine a genocide, but I think it's bad and we need to stop it. The reason why I say that is because a thing can be bad without being the worst thing. When it comes to, you know, self-defense, genocide, or any of these other things that we try to appeal a law to someone, in most cases, the mens rea, or the intent, is incredibly important. Now, there's a technical term for it, but with copyright, licensing, and all these other things, or defamation, well, defamation's its own thing, but with licensing, copyright, fair use, and all these things, intent isn't caked into the equation. So, unfortunately, it sounds like, so far, Ren has already said that he kind of fucked up when he first released the song and didn't follow the parameters of the release docket. So what he had to do was, you know, for the first month is when a video gets all of its traction. It's when it gets a majority of its plays. It's when it gets a majority of its everything. And if Ren didn't feature the artist or the producer that the beat was originally owned to in that time, Ren fucked up. Now, luckily, he's owning that here, and he's willing to admit a mistake, but that one mistake could be enough justification to pull the video. Ren's intent is irrelevant from the situation. Ren had to feature him credited into the account to withhold the same contract. Waiting a month after the fact is kind of bad. Like, no business partner would allow that. That's not acceptable. Now, granted, it's a different story when we're on YouTube and we have time frames that we can work towards. And while Ren was blowing up, Kujo could have, like, not been an asshole and then, like, understood the man was going through medical treatments. But when we're talking about law, a lot of these other things aren't really that important going into them. It's a fucked up thing, because if Ren dropped the ball and didn't give him proper credit in the first month, Kujo could theoretically pull his song because he owns the publishing rights. And if he didn't get properly credited, which is probably the rules within the purchase, you could argue that means that Ren null and voided the purchase by not upholding his end of the deal. Now, obviously, we'll get into further details, and how Kujo represents himself in this matters a great deal. And luckily, Ren is being transparent and being honest about these things. But with a matter of law, it doesn't really matter. At least in this particular type of case, if they even went to that level.
Like, very soon in everywhere. And
also, I'm talking about law in America, so it could be entirely different in the UK or whatever.
As far as I was aware, registered everywhere. So I don't think anything of it, right? Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the beat has to own the beat. And if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to let you know.
Oh, okay. Producer warrants and represents that he has full rights and the ability to enter in this agreement, and is not under any disability, restriction, or probation with respect to grant rights hereunder. Producer warrants that manufacture, sale, distribution, or other exploitative nature of a new song hereunder will now infringe upon or violate any common law or statutory right of any person, firm, or corporation. For those that you don't know, at least in America, firms and corporations are treated as humans, which is a good thing, honestly, because it means that you can sue a company when something bad happens, even if the people that work at the company are the ones that are at fault. Without limitation, contractual rights, copyrights, and rights of privacy, publicity will not constitute libel or slander. Licenses warrants that the manufacture, sale, distribution, or other exploitation of new song hereunder will not infringe upon or violate any common law or statutory rights of any person, firm, or corporation, including without limitation. Contractual right. I just read that. The foregoing notwithstanding, procedure undertakes no responsibility whatsoever as to any element added to the new song by license indemnifies and holds producers harmless for any such elements. Producers warrant that he did not sample, as that term is commonly understood in the recording industry, any copyrighted material or sound recordings belonging to any other person, firm, or corporation, hereinafter referred to as owner, without first having notified licensees. A license. The license shall have no obligation to approve the use of any sample thereof. However, if approved, any payment in connection therewithin includes with associated legal clearance cost shall be borne by license. Knowledge by license that samples were used by a producer which was not affirmatively disclosed by the producer to the license shall shift in whole or in part. The liability of the infringement to the violation of the rights of any kind of third party arising from the use of any of such sample from the producer to the license. So essentially what it's saying is there's a chance that if you use a sample in a song you produce, that you can lose all the rights to that, and they will just give it therein to the person whose sample you used, or at least a portion of the rights to the song. It's not saying that they can't do it. It's just saying that if they do it, they're going to lose their rights. So, I mean, essentially, it shouldn't be done.
This is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right? So yeah, I think there's no problems. I buy the beat. I record a song. This is before things have blown up with my music, so I'm still pretty underground artist at this point. I record the track, put it out. I even get a message from him at some point, which is also important to remember because of the hypocrisy of this whole situation. Just like, wicked, I love the track. Okay? Remember that too. Before I begin, I just want to add this. I have no problem with BeatStars. I think they're a very innovative company who actually help people make art, which I'm very, very passionate about. I think the contracts and the things you're getting into could be clearer, because we're now in a situation negotiating older tracks bought from BeatStars. I would love to talk to the...
Well, so you got to be careful there, man. The reason why they're so vague is so that they don't have to answer these questions. It's that way through design, much like a politician. But yeah.
If anyone from there is watching, I imagine they will be at some point. I would love to talk to the CEO, founder of BeatStars, face to face, just because I want to understand how something like this could have happened, and I want to understand why it escalated the way it did. Because from what I've heard, he's someone who cares a lot about artists, and someone who creates a platform like that, I think, must be very passionate about music. I'd love to chat to you if you're listening, and I'd love. He's someone who cares a lot about art.
So realistically, unless it's the original CEO of the company, realistically, the CEO is probably someone who doesn't give a fuck about the industry they're in. Most of the time, CEOs are brought in from other corporations or companies to just run the business aspect, and then the people that work within the corporation are the ones that usually give a shit about what's happening. Just look at Twitch. Dan Clancy is fucking useless. But, you know, he was successful in other adventures, I guess.
Understand why it escalated the way it did, because from what I've heard, he's someone who cares a lot about artists, and someone who creates a platform like that, I think, must be very passionate about music. I'd love to chat to you if you're listening, and I'd love to figure out why this happened and how we can stop things like this happening in the future. I also think that there needs to be a bit more stringent checks on if people are selling unlicensed samples, because then things tend to get a little bit sticky like they have here. Anyway, that's it. I have no problem with BeatStars, because I'm not interested in going to war with them, because I think that it's really cool that there's a platform like that exists for artists and producers to be connected.
Well, it's also just smart to separate yourself from your beef with BeatStars, because they are a corporation that have way many lawyers than you do, Bubby. You know what I mean? Play it smart. Just go after the man that fucked you over.
Just thought I'd put that out there.
And by admitting that to the corporation is more inclined to assist you if the person was acting in bad faith. This right here is just like how people manage 101. This is a smart move on Ren's part to talk about the greatness of the platform and how this one particular individual is to blame, because now the platform has all the incentive to get behind Ren and assist him in bringing down whoever Kujo is and whatever he's done.
That clear. Right, so I arrive home from Canada after a 1.5 year long treatment of treating brain damage and autoimmunity, which a lot of you will know if you've been following my journey. And I'm expecting a nice 2 weeks with my mates before I do my first ever solo show in 5 years because of my health. So I'm just like, I want a nice chill time. I want to be able to focus on rehearsing and stuff. Very early on, I wake up to a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boi has been taken down. So I look at it.
So again, that framing is dangerous. That framing had nothing to do with the case at hand. Now, obviously, his fans care about it because his fans are the ones that are watching. You know, they want to know what's going on with Ren. But if you were talking about on a case of right and wrong, legal and unlegal, or not legal or illegal, everything he just said there about wanting to, like, you know, his medical treatment, and he wanted to come home and hang out with his boys and set up for his first show. Like, if you were in a court of law, they would be like, strike all that from the record. None of that had to do with the fucking question. Now, because Ren is just really open with his fans, he wants to get that out there. But be careful, because that's the same type of language. Now, I'm not saying Ren is doing that. Ren might just be a genuine person. But that's the same type of language people use to, like, emotionally manipulate you and set you up to believe or prime you for a certain type of reading of what's happening. Not saying that Ren's doing that. I'm just saying when you hear people doing what Ren's doing right there, That's when you need to start listening and be like, what the fuck are they saying and why are they saying it? Why did you give me that information before you gave me your point?
To a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boi has been taken down. So I look at it, and sure enough, it's been copyright striked from this guy Kujo Beats, the channel. And initially I'm like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. So like, I don't take it.
See, this is why it's good, because Ren is smart. Like that is, and see, this is good information to sparse for legal reasons. So let's say, you know, this video were to be used in an actual court case. Ren giving Kujo Beats the benefit of the doubt and assuming no malice to begin with versus immediately jumping to malice is the way that you need to go about dealing with things, especially like potentially legal. Like, for example, let's say you're at work and your boss flirts with you or says something inappropriate, but it was innocuous. It wasn't like directed. They didn't touch you. They made a passing joke that they might have made 1,000,000 times, and you may not have wanted to hear it, you know? So if you run to HR right then and there and be like, my boss is a sexual abuser, they're going to be more likely to take your boss's side. Mainly because, has anyone else made similar complaints? How long have you been with the company? How long has he been with the company? What do you do for the company? What does he do? What's your track record? What's his track record? They take all that into consideration. And if you're a first-time person coming out of nowhere with your opinion, well, that's not going to work. And they're going to ask, did you speak to your manager or a supervisor or someone in the immediate area or a witness? And if all your answers are no to that, buddy, all you're doing is signing a death warrant for you at your job. You always have to give someone the capability to rectify their mistake. And assuming malice right off the gate is a dangerous it's a dangerous precedent to set. Assuming that this was wrong, and then he just sent out an email to Kujo and was like, hey man, hey, my thing got copyright strike. Want to help me fight this? And then Kujo's like, fuck you, dog, you're a sham, or whatever. That can be used in court, and that's something that does matter. Because it shows that he had the intent to do the right thing, and he didn't assume malice. Assuming malice, in order for someone to have malice, you have to be hostile already. And for one person to have malice towards you, obviously you've probably done something to earn that malice.
Like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. So like, I don't take it too seriously. I send him a message like, yo, there must have been a technical error or something here.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yo, man, my song just got copyright striked. Had paid for that and tagged like you requested. What's going on? My channel has a copyright strike now, and that video had millions of views. Was paid through BeatStar, and we even spoke about it. This is perfect. And I mean, it's not even hostile. Like there's no malice, no hostility here. He is pointing out on 2 separate occasions that he paid for it. So there's no way that the guy can say, I didn't think my mistake. He brought it. Now, the perfect mark, if he would have done it 3 times, at least according to psychology. But he's not pointing fingers. It's like, obviously he's bringing attention to that with a large, yo, man, my thing just got copyright strike question. So he's not even saying that he did it. Maybe it was an auto ID type thing or something on YouTube's part. He's leaving all of this very vague and very open for Kujo to make a case for why he did what he did.
Yeah. No response for 2 days. So I'm like, what's going on? So I check his channel, and then I see a comment of that beat that he licensed me, and I see a comment that's like, Ren has left me no choice. I'm sorry that I had to do this. And I'm like, okay, so this was intentional. Like, what? Like, the last conversation I had with this guy was months ago with him being like, yo, big up your work, it's sick. So I'm like super confused about it. So I send him another email like, dude, what's going on? Again, I get absolutely no response. So I put a comment in his YouTube comment section, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get hold of you. Why are you ignoring me? Like, I just want to resolve this amicably.
Hey man, wanted to understand what's going on with the dispute. I thought you had been credited fairly everywhere. If you hadn't, it's totally my bad, and I was going through brain damage treatment at the time of your message, but I thought I'd updated it all correctly. In regards to the sample we got, a message saying the sample of choir had not been cleared but had nothing to do with what happened next. That was my publisher. They just told me they were dealing with it and I heard nothing about it. And since so, I'm really confused about what's going on. But I'd love to sort it out so everyone's happy, because I don't want, for your sake or mine, for this to need to get legal, because it's such a pain in the ass and costly thing to happen. If you could let me know who in my team you've been talking to and that they've said it, I'll get on it, because if it's something they've been doing wrong on their end, I want to resolve it ASAP so everyone's happy. I just really want to focus on the music and stay out of all things business, so I had no idea there was an ongoing dispute. Okay, so this actually raises more questions, because one, this isn't a YouTube comment section. I don't know what the fuck this is. These are messages, like text messages. This particular one is not helping his case, these receipts that he has here. Because one, obviously it means someone in Kujo's team was reaching out to someone in Ren's team with complaints. And there was back and forth before he struck the video that Ren wasn't aware of.
What's going on? Finally, I get a response on Instagram. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these responses in their full form so that there can be no doubt as to what happened. I'm just going to read out like the key moments and explain the key moments. But if anyone's like interested in deep diving so there can be no doubt as to what's happened here, feel free to pause it. If Kujo and his girlfriend, like I said, feel like I've left anything out, they are welcome to post it. I have nothing to hide about this situation. So he responds and he tells me that he's been talking to my lawyer.
Hey Ren, I'm really sorry that it came to this. I especially asked my legal rep not to request a strike since I wanted to avoid this type of situation. My rep has been in contact with your lawyer, has been exceedingly incompetent at handling this, in his handling of the situation. Again, I'm sorry for this total cock up, and I hope you're doing okay. We've been in negotiations with BAM for many months, and he has yet to come forward with reasonable terms regarding industry standards. So yeah, I'd like to talk to Blank and see what he says. I'm still waiting updates on my rep from BeatStars. Hey man, I should have told you. I had no idea at all what you're even talking about. All I was told is that a couple months ago the choir sample hadn't been cleared and that they were chasing us for money and it was being dealt with. So I figured it was being sorted out behind the scenes, and that's why all this has been so surprising. I was also made aware that I'm sorry I caused you trouble, Yaman. Sorry that this caught you off guard. I mean, it doesn't sound like Kujo right now is being rude. You know, he's happy that he's not totally fucked up. It sounds like he was communicating with someone at Ren's team, and Ren's team kind of dropped the ball so far. But let's see where we get with this.
For months, which I have no idea about. I've been in Canada. And he seems like quite a nice guy initially, so I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor and that, I was like, this has probably just been a misunderstanding and something's gone wrong here. Don't worry. He seems like you're alright, dude. We will sort this out. But then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video saying that I'm...
Alright, to all coming from Rick Boy, Sin Boy, I've waited over a year for Ren and his team to follow the terms of the contract they signed for this beat. During this whole period, I have not issued any strikes with the faith that they would make things right. I asked my legal representative not to issue strikes initially, as I had hoped Ren and his team would do the right thing. Unfortunately, they have been delayed in avoiding providing any reasonable terms to my team with shamefully long periods of silence. Respect the terms of the contract. Don't spread misinformation. Don't lie.
Lying about the situation when I thought that we like on the same page here. So I pull him up on it and he's like, oh no, I didn't say you were lying, when he clearly did.
That paints out that I'm putting out false information, and I'm not. Brother, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm addressing the irate fans. I'll edit the comments to make that clear. One sec.
That should have been like the first red flag for me, but still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe another misunderstanding. Anyway, so I contact my lawyer to find out what the hell's happening, because I'm in the dark about all of this situation. And he explains to me that I've been sold a beat with a stolen sample, with an unlicensed sample, and that the Bulgarian choir sample owners had chased him and gone, look, you've used this beat without permission, you've used this sample without permission, and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split. And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to Kujo and gone, look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this in bad faith, basically. And they've gone, no, we're not going to absorb that. And then it's escalated.
Okay, yeah, I mean, no matter what, Kujo's in the wrong. It's written into the contract. If he doesn't have the rights for a sample, that he would either null and void the entirety of it or half, which is fine. This is why you don't use someone else's content illegally. So Kujo's already in the wrong. Now, I mean, Ren's team did drop the ball by not letting him know what was happening, especially because when this guy still owns the publishing rights, or at least half of the publishing rights, by the time it's all done, to his music, and one of his songs has that beat in it. So, I mean, his team did drop the ball a little bit here, but I mean, no one's perfect. Like, he was going through fucking surgery, dude. You know what I mean? Fixing brain damage.
And they've, I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow with the responses, they also, keep in mind, I don't know any of this is happening right now. To get my attention, they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way, and the video gets taken down as a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think, because...
Well, not really, Ren. Buddy, come on. If they've tried reaching through the normal means to your lawyer, to your team, and they're not getting responses, I mean, that's what you do. You escalate. It's a bummer that it had a dramatic effect on you, but this is why your team needs to be, you know, I'm not knocking your team. I love all you guys. I'm just saying there's a little wrong to go here.
Which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think, because it would have been a good idea to contact me, maybe, like anyone first, if this was getting so, like, blown up. Like, maybe the lawyers, maybe Kujo could have actually reached out to me, the artist. Nobody did. So I found out.
Well, I mean, if he had a point of contact, and your point of contact, like, it's the same thing that happens with your supervisor to your manager. Your manager will hire a supervisor to watch over the crew. And then, for the most part, you're supposed to go to your direct leading command to get news or information about the work environment that you're in. Realistically, in a perfect work environment, people don't see the manager. They see the team lead or the supervisor or whatever. The manager, if they're doing their job correctly, shouldn't even be in the fucking building. Their ass should be out visiting customers, setting up corporate accounts, going around, you know, actually managing extra shit, bringing in more business. And then your supervisors, your assistant managers, your foremans, and your leads are the ones that you see on a regular basis. And they're the ones that you report to every day. It's like their whole job function. So it's pretty uncommon to bypass your supervisor, or in this case, your handler, to go directly to the artist, especially when the artist is in and out of surgery and a bunch of crazy shit in a different country, you know, getting your brain worked on. And after reaching out to both your lawyer and the handler, or the person of your team that was dealing with this multiple times, you couldn't get anywhere, and he probably said, "Oh, let me talk to Ren." And they were like, "Yeah, cool, but like, how much did your crew run your YouTube, run your Instagram? Like, how is he gonna get a hold of you without going through your crew? And your crew is the one blocking him. Striking the video is the only option he had, and it clearly worked. You could put your eyes on it." And then it made you probably a little more like, guys, we can't, I need to know what the fuck's happening.
A bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read another comment that could...
All right, we can talk on Instagram, email if you want. I've been in negotiations with your lawyer for months without receiving any satisfactory response. You have yet to pay me through royalties you owe, and I think it's cowardly for you to pretend like you have done nothing wrong. Well, that was a bold statement, because he's now attributing malice when Rin hasn't been doing so, and Kujo has been very vague in his statements. So one, the lawyer doesn't have to give you a satisfactory response. Lawyers just have to respond. A lawyer's job isn't to tell you what you want to hear. A lawyer's job is just to tell you what the law is, whether or not you can get away with that shit, and then fight for you in that agreement, like in that courtroom. A lawyer's job is not to tell you what you want to hear. That's a yes man. So Kujo's already wrong here. Like, if you go to a lawyer and they tell you we're not helping you because you're already in the wrong for selling something with a sample in it, this isn't our battle. That's your thing with them. You need to go solve that shit first. And then what royalties am I going to give you? I bought and paid for a beat. You don't deserve shit. You gave me the rights to that music off of that $100 purchase. You already got paid, dog. You just have the publishing rights. That's it.
Kujo's posted calling me a coward to pay the royalties he's owed, and I'm like, what royalty? That's also, in my head, the publishers are just paying him the money, and now the situation has to change until everyone agrees on it. But I wasn't even privy to that conversation about what a fair split should be yet. So I was like, what? I don't owe you. I don't owe this guy money. Like, there's no master splits on the BeatStars contracts, by the way. So all money that comes in to Kujo, which should be paid to Kujo, rightly so, comes from the publisher, which is nothing to do with me, by the way. I explained this so many times in this conversation, by the way, and he's adamant to say, probably short of like 50 times, pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So it's a very bizarre thing to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him patiently, never really takes it in. Anyway, he calls me a coward.
So the reason why is Kujo probably knows nothing about law. And he probably is a lawyer that's willing to, like, stay on retainer and just do dumb shit and then tell him whatever he wants to hear, because lawyers like to get paid. You are given no royalties for something that you sell. If I draw a painting and then I sell it to somebody, and then that they turn around and find some way to make a buck ton of money off of it, I sold them the painting. You know what I mean? No, that's the point. What the fuck? What royalties is he talking about? He's only doing this because Ren blew up over that video. This guy, Kujo, wouldn't have done this to a video that got like 10,000 views. He's only doing it because he thinks Ren made a shit ton of money off of that, and he wants his piece of the pie. Just evil. Just greed.
So on this comment, so I pull him up on that. This actually starts to then rub me up a little bit. So I'm like, I pull him up on that. It's saying like, the hell, like, cowardly. Anyway.
Also, this man, cowardly bro, didn't even know you weren't being paid publishing. Wait, also this... Why would he say it like that? It sounds like he's talking to someone else. Also, all right, let's read it. Also, this man, cowardly bro, didn't even know you weren't being paid publishing, but publishing has nothing to do with the actual artist. I've been frustrated with my own publisher, but if there's been faulty registration of your publishing, then you and me are both pissed at them, because I forwarded them the contract from BeatStars for this exact reason, so you get all the publishing you deserve. There should be a 50-50 split. Bet. I'll edit it out like I said. I woke up to a bunch of angry fans, and it got me shook. Okay. I will say this, and no one's going to like this statement, and I'm okay with that. Ren's Renegades are a powerful force, and you guys are beautiful people. But with those numbers comes power. And a lot of you guys are already predisposed to, like, agree with Ren on any topic. I'm not saying it's a cult. It's a book club. But think about it from this Kujo guy's perspective, if you could. A song he produced, a beat he made, sorry, got picked up by another artist, then released. That artist went like #1, made a fuck ton of money, and Ren has a huge fan base. I'd imagine Kujo Beats was never that big. So when one fan base gets mad at another, well, you can see this in real time with the Hassan fans going after Ethan Klein, and some of them are pretty extreme. I would say that those Hassan fans are probably decent people, but some of them are actually fucking insane. Ren is probably in the same boat. This guy probably made a lot of enemies really quickly behind the scenes, and some of Ren's people may not have been holding up right. And, bro, what do? You know what I mean? Fuck. Need to get through this video. My boy's about to get online.
I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed.
Oh, hold on. No, I didn't actually finish reading that. That's all just pretty crazy to go about things. I don't understand why the copyright strike would even be sent without anyone, you or my lawyer, tell me what's going on. Yeah, that's not... Ren doesn't have a leg to stand on that one. Yeah, Kujo is right here. I don't understand why your lawyer didn't tell you anything. This is on him. Oh yeah, and then dude, my legal rep has been talking to Blank for months. Literal months. Okay.
I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed, so I still take his side on it, and I go on to
Man, I swear the music business is fucked. I've been knowing this for a minute. So much incompetence. Whatever the case, rest assured the split ends up being with publishing after the simple chance you'll get paid. I'll make sure of it, so don't stress about losing any money.
reassure him he'll get paid his publishing money because I want him to get paid his publishing money. Doesn't affect me in any ways.
Right, homie. All right, right. So, homie, look, he meant to say my solution is this. We figure out the percentage of this bulk inquire is wanting from publishing. I have a feeling it's fuckingly stupidly high. And then we just talk out how to do it fairly. Fuck the lawyers. Then I'll go back to them with what we agreed on. So that's a pretty reasonable thing. But this is actually super reasonable. I prefer to let my guy BeatStars handle the legal stuff since I'm a beat maker, not a negotiator. And I have no idea what's fair and what isn't. Okay, totally fair enough. If you'd like, I can give you his contact info. Then you can talk to him direct.
So I was like, yeah, I'll chase it up for you. I let him know that I'm happy to split publishing if there's a bit of a grey area, and I'm kind of reassuring him. It's really important to remember this, by the way, guys, because some of the lies that are posted later make me out to be really unreasonable. So I'm like, yo, if there's...
Okay, all I want to know, which nobody is telling me, is were you legally obliged to either inform me or clear the sample before I bought it? If yes, you should cover publishing. If no, let's just split the publishing equal on whatever share is left over after the guys chasing the sample have their share. To me, it's not rocket science, but no one can give me a clear answer. Also, what I still don't understand is why there's a copyright strike on a YouTube video, which absolutely has nothing to do with publishing. Well, so what Kujo should have done here is clear that. Because whether that was you or your representatives, that really fucking weird thing to do. It's not really that weird. That's harmed my own hard work. Yeah, but that's the point. I don't care about whether the split ends up being. All I care about is whether it's legally right or wrong here, so I don't understand why no one can give me an answer, and it's so simple. Well, it's not. He says it already here. If you were legally obliged to either inform me or clear the sample before I bought it, If yes, you should cover the publishing. So I don't know why he hearted that, because if he was supposed to inform Ren ahead of time that he had a sample in there and he didn't, yeah, the publishing would totally be on him. But Ren should just be willing to like be a good guy on it and be like, we'll just split it. I don't give a fuck.
Simple mistake. Let's split the publishing. It's cool. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes back to me and lies more. He says it's always up to the performer to clear the.
What the fuck? I mean, read this and my brain hurts. So, like I said, on BeatStars it says there's a sample contained in the beat. It's always up to the performer to clear the sample. But in the case, as you see, we were waiting to make concessions for you to get a fair share. No, it's not. Why would it be up to, like, he bought a beat from you that had samples in it? That's on you, dude. You sold a shitty product. I was under the impression that you would receive a warning. I had no idea the video would be completely taken down. And the reason a strike was issued is because your rep was dragging his feet and playing the games with us, and it seemed our only possible negotiation tactic was to get a response. So typically when you want to negotiate with people, you don't go nuclear right away. But if like you keep making your appeal and no one's listening, eventually you got to raise the stakes a little. So I mean, I don't really blame him for hitting him with a copyright strike. It's a bummer that Ren lost a little bit of money and all that jazz, but I mean, it's something that could be cleared up fairly easy. But I mean, he'd just be out a little money. But like, Kujo's out money too. You know what I mean? It's a bummer if Kujo, the real Kujo, should have just never used that sample. Oh wait, keep in mind, we all thought you were in the loop. I've been in this industry for over 7 years, and it's not the first time I've had to deal with this type of situation. So please excuse my initial lack of faith. I mean, that's, yeah, he's the one who started showing malice first. So I mean, obviously he's in the wrong. Like, I don't want to sound like a cunt, but if everyone was paying me correctly, I would still be posting on YouTube and BeatStars and making music full time. As it is, I'm working shit jobs, struggling to make ends meet, trying to make my time for music. This is why I joined BeatStars Publishing, and someone would have my back and help me get what I'm owed. Remember what I was saying about red flags? He just did one right here. Yeah, he did. As it is, I'm working shit jobs, struggling to make ends meet. The fuck does that have to do with anything? That's just you espousing emotional bullshit to add emotional baggage to your claim. This offers nothing for your claim other than to say life's hard. Well, get in line, bitch. Life's hard for everybody. Ren was losing his fucking mind, dog. You know what I mean? All right. An attachment he sent, 100% agree with you. I've emailed Blam asking him to get directly back to you ASAP. We've been dealing with this situation for months, and I hate to see this hurting your art. So yeah, I also want to wrap this up immediately and get your song back online. So it sounds like he's still working with Ren. I don't know what this part shows, that he's being malicious, but he's still being cooperative, and he's still been someone who's been slighted by Ren's team. We'll see how worse this gets.
It's not, it's up to the producer, but unless there's been a conversation. But in this case, as you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get your fair share. So actually, it's me making the concessions here because he sold a stolen sample. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, he's making the concessions 100%. Yeah, Ren is. Not the real Kujo. He sold something that was a bad product. On a moral or a legal leg, our man has nothing to stand on right now.
So actually, it's me making the concessions here because he sold a stolen sample, and I'm like, you know what? You can still have some publishing split, right? So like, I'm actually being the one that's being quite reasonable here, and he's flipped on his head like, "We'll be good to you," you know, because I've done nothing wrong in this situation. Anyway, I was like, and then he says, "I was under the impression you would have received a warning. I had no idea that the video would be completely taken down. Another lie, as you'll see soon." he and his lawyer agreed to take this video down as a form of leverage. It was
so like I said on BeatStars, I was saying there was a sample contained. Oh, it's already the same one.
our only possible negotiation tactic to get a response. Maybe message me.
Yeah, but like, what? That's not how it works, dude. And how's he gonna message you? Who runs your accounts? Do you run your accounts, bub? No. You have a team for that. You're big enough for that. You were like literally in the hospital and shit, dude. The people running your YouTube and your accounts were not you. People have already told me that. Messaging you doesn't do anything if they filter through the main people that run your shit. They run your Instagram. They run your YouTube. They like where's he gonna message you on? What? Does he have your phone number? Can he just text you? Well, he might be able to do that then.
They're scratching their head. How can we get a response? Okay, we'll take his video down, issue a copyright strike, which also, I didn't actually violate the contract. Not intentionally.
Well, yeah, but your intent doesn't matter there, Ren. Come on, bro. Your intent is irrelevant to the situation. This is copyright. This is licensing. None of this has to do with intent. Intent is irrelevant to the equation. There is no mens rea. There's none of that for this particular thing that you're dealing with right now.
So the only possible tactic, dude, message me, send me an email. Like, you've messaged me before to tell me that you love my work. So like, send me an email about this. Anyway, he says he also wants to wrap it up immediately and get the song back online. Another lie, as you will see later on, because he decides to stick to his guns and use the video as leverage. Anyway, the plot thickens. I get an email from their lawyer, and I'm not going to share it in case they start claiming I'm sharing things I'm not supposed to. But I get an email, and it says, on top of the publishing split, they want a £3,000 payment, right? They want a 15% retroactive split of the master, which has nothing to do with publishing, which means like 15% of everything the song has ever made since it came out. Retroactively, so since it's come out to this moment, and then...
You don't get none of that shit, dog. He already paid you your $99, bitch. Now scrub the floor.
Into the future, when I've paid for an unlimited sample, unlimited license beat, and with that you're talking money from record sales, you're talking money from streaming things, you're talking all of that when they haven't put any effort into promoting the song. He's made a beat and he's stolen part of the beat, and he wants 15% of everything the song has ever made for that, plus a £3,000 advance. Out of principle, I wasn't going to give him that, but because like may have been slightly open to negotiations if they hadn't used the song as leverage and actually treated me like a decent person. I hadn't put like lies about the situation, right? But out of principle, I wasn't going to agree to that. And also to clarify, when I've been in rooms with producers and we've made a song from scratch, I've done a lot of like 50-50 splits, or I've done like 25-75, or with other collaborated artists, we just agree on a split that's like 50-50, 25. So, like 15% isn't outrageous, right? What's outrageous is that they already sold it with an unlimited license right from the get-go. So you go into BeatStars thinking, I'm buying an unlimited license for this much money, right? And I was broke at the time when I bought that beat. So it's like, you go into the situation buying something, and then later on down the line, it can come back and sting you if they go, oh, this slight thing, well, we found a loophole here, which means then now you owe us all this money, right? So it's like, it was kind of unfair, because say you buy a painting off somebody for 10.
All right, let's just talk about the ethics of it, not law or anything like that. What's the song? Did Sick Boi jumpstart his career, like to a degree where it was one of his biggest blow-ups? Ethically speaking, it would probably be in his best interest to find some way to compensate the guy that sold him a beat that helped jumpstart his career. Even if the guy's a piece of shit. I mean, at the end of the day, it was all of those components that made that song what it was. So even this guy, he has his fingerprints on Ren's song. Definitionally, that's what it means when all tides, or a tide rises all ships, lifts all ships. Ren shouldn't have a problem compensating this man extra now that he's in a position to where he can, on just a moral ought standard. The guy made a sick beat. Ren really liked it. He gave him $100 at the time. That's all he needed to do. Legally, Ren doesn't owe him anything else, but Ren still ought to. You know what I mean? Like, that's like definitionally what like a Jesus type figure would have done. So we're seeing the human elements of our boy today.
So it's like, it was kind of unfair because say you buy a painting off somebody for £10, the price of it rises exponentially because maybe the painter dies or something, or he becomes really popular. You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now, give me a bit more money for it, because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing.
I mean, you're right empirically. Like, you're right. You're right. Like, well, the transaction is done. But you are now making an argument on behalf of greed. You're rich, dog. You can give a little extra to this guy. And he gave you something that made your life way better. Now, granted, a majority of what made your life what it is you. You might be like 1% of that. But, like, you should cut him out a little more, you know what I mean? And until he starts probably getting super unchecked and uncrazy. But as of right now, yes, Ren is right. He owes him nothing, and he shouldn't have given him any. Well, I wouldn't say he shouldn't. He didn't have to give him anything. But in Ren's predicament, and someone who has struggled through music and not having anything, and, you know, all the crazy shit that he's struggled through, he should have been more inclined to be like, fuck yeah, dude, I got you. Fuck this industry. Now, maybe he should have fought him a little on, like, no, I'm not going to, because you always go high in your first initial request, and then you're supposed to deal downward. And he should have been happy to give him 3,000 pounds. Drop the exclusive shit. Hell, give him 10,000 pounds. Fuck it. Ren is rich. You know what I mean?
There's more now. Give me a bit.
And let this be a lesson to you. Don't buy fucking beats. Make your own shit.
Go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like...
Because everyone wants to get paid for what they do. This is... Okay, look. This is going to make a lot of people mad. Let's say, all right, look. This is why Ren's argument right now is something I agree with fundamentally. I'm just talking about ethically right now. Fundamentally, I agree that when you get paid something, that's it. That's what you get. So if you go to a job and you deliver pizzas for, 10 hours and you get paid for that, that's your paycheck. That's your agreement. You guys worked that out. And, your boss paid you. You got your money. Now, should we argue whether you deserve to get paid more? Fuck yes. I agree 100%. But just because you prop that business up by delivering their pizzas and their chefs prop that up by making their food doesn't mean that they then get to absorb the whole business because they are technically the business. This is why people like socialism or communism is because they want to take the capital for the people that create the capital and give it back to those people. So in a socialist world, Ren would be in the wrong. Ren only got to make that song because of that beat. And that means that guy should have a massive say in Ren's work and whether or not it should exist. But I believe in property rights. I believe that Ren's song is Ren's. And by paying him, he gets to now use that song in any way he sees fit because he honored his contract. So Ren right now is making an argument for a capitalist structure to exist when it's beneficial to his life. Because all people do. It's the way we work. We like capitalism when it's defining what keeps us in our pocket. We don't like capitalism, well, when it's taken away from us. All right, off my high horse.
You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now. Give me a bit more money for it, because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing. It wasn't about me losing money. It was about the principle of like, we've stepped into this agreement, and I was in full faith thinking I was buying an unlimited sample, but that's unlimited license, sorry. But that's not actually what's happened, is it? Right? And it says that if
Yo, man, your guy saying we should be owed 100% is crazy. The amount of work I've put into the video and the promotion of that song. Like, there wouldn't have been any money to be fighting for in the first place if I hadn't pushed it the way that I did. I'm not sure why you can't see it, but your lawyer is being a shark. The fact that he wants a bigger split on the master on top of me paying you $3K and having an equal publishing split after third party after I paid for the track already is nuts. It's not really nuts. It's socialism. I'm really sorry to say I have to go on this route, dude, but if he doesn't budge on this, we're gonna have to take it to court in order to put out a statement about the whole thing. I really don't see what other option I have, because really I shouldn't be paying $3,000 plus losing an additional 25% of mastering, even more on the master after all the work I've put into this is insanity to me. If we shared an equal cost of making the music video, promoting the track, and building a career, selling the record, sure. But you're taking tens of $1,000s a month of work there and not asking for, I'm not asking you for that. I get that you made the beat, but I actually put in a fair part of work into the arrangement and writing the vocals after the fact, which you can clearly hear. But then beyond that, spent so much money of my own money to even make the track successful after years and years of building a following. It meant there was even an audience for this in the first place. I want you to be paid for your work, but dude, this is insanity. Surely you can see that. Threats to claim,
I don't agree to that.
100% of the song from your lawyer is kind of insulting after I've offered to pay you money out of my own pocket. I've been super respectful about this, but it's, yeah, okay.
Yes,
Ren's 100% right. If you drop the ethical framework, by law, Kujo has nothing to stand on. He sold a bad product that had stolen stuff in it. He's lucky that he retains any rights to that music if he does. And on top of all of that, like, because what Ren could definitely do if he were to take this to court is he can go get the choir person who owns that and sides up with them, and then they can agree that, hey man, we'll do a 50-50 split between me and you. Let's just oust this guy, and you put the pressure on him for making a bad product. Because then at that point, BeatStar has no reason to defend him because the guy lied in his initial thing, which would bring potential pressure to BeatStar and unmitigated lawsuits if other people are doing that. BeatStar has it on good authority to drop the fucking hammer on this guy to protect their own self-interest, which is the same thing HR departments do in workplaces. So if Ren was smart, he'd go after who the Kujo guy is fighting with, and they would build a coalition to bring down Kujo, and then these people, he'd go into agreement with them, and then they would release the song because they own 50% or up to 100% of publishing rights if BeatStar was willing to fight them pretty hard. Because if I know anything, because like even Wattpad does it, for books, is that the publishing rights are technically owned by the owner of the person who makes it, and to some degree, the website. So the website might even have some kind of claim to that, so that they could just release that man's portion of the ownership of it, because then they could just ban his account, and then, you know what I mean? That's the way corporations do this shit all the time, dude. I can't believe I'm advocating for a corporation to fuck over a small artist, though, just because the guy's an asshole.
What's happened, is it? Right?
No!
And it says that if I don't agree to this, they're within their right to claim 100% of the song because I have breached something in the contract, right? Now,
also true, though, because he did admit early in the beginning for the first month he did not honor his side of the contract by putting Kujo Beats' name in the actual description for the beat.
Of the song because I have breached something in the contract, right? Now, this is what I breached. Apparently, Content ID was turned on the track, okay, on YouTube. As you'll see from my earlier on in this video, I actually specifically requested content ID was turned off, and my YouTube guide did turn it off. There has been something to do with the distribution where somewhere along the line, even after I specifically requested this, it may have gotten turned on at some point, right?
So the way that it works is YouTube will, if there is not an original source for what you're putting out, they will apply you as the content ID holder. They saw this in Necrit. He has a video about Twisted Tree Line for a song in the Twisted Tree Line, and he is technically the content holder of it, despite the fact that it's owned by Riot. That content thing is done by YouTube, which you could point out in a court case.
Even after I specifically requested this, it may have gotten turned on at some point, right? Where this doesn't actually make any money, which we've got proof of, because I actually let reactors, I let content creators monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs. I've done this since the start because I believe that everyone should get paid. It helps promote me. I'm not losing out. Everyone's a winner. A rising tide lifts all ships, baby.
My boy!
So, like, I'm like, they're using this as leverage, but legally, but thus is the world. They actually had something to lean on with that. So they were like, look, if you don't agree to these terms, 15% retroactive master split, this share on publishing, and a £3,000 advance against the master, we're going to take 100% of what you own. At this point, I'm obviously pretty annoyed, which is pretty understandable, right? Anyway, at this point, they've got my attention, so there's no reason they need to use the video for Sick Boi as leverage, right? So I give them a fair warning. I'm like, mate, if you don't put the video back up on Friday, I'm going to have to put a public post explaining why it's down. And I give them a fair warning, which is...
I'm stepping out of the situation now. I've said my piece and where I stand. But this is stressing me out far too much. If the song isn't back on YouTube by the end of the week, then I'm really not willing to be amicable, I don't know how to say that word anymore, on how much I offer for the song if it gets to that point. So please sort this man. It's so fucked up. This whole situation is so unfair on me. I agree that the publishing is unfair on you too, which is why I'll do my best to resolve it, but that mistake really wasn't on me to share the burden. And this whole asking for $3K and even more money on the master over at YouTube technically has me pissed off, man. Technicality. Even more master over a YouTube technicality has me really pissed off, man. Me even offering to knock down to 33 is against my own lawyer's advice. Giving it till Friday for Sick Boi to be up, and then I'm making a public post explaining why it's not. I'm stepping away from this. This video doesn't need to be part of the discussion and should still be up. But if this isn't resolved by then, I'm explaining to the world honestly why.
It's also important to remember, because later on he plays the victim, saying that I've put a post encouraging my fans to bully him, which I didn't. I gave him a fair warning about it. I never once encouraged them to bully him. I just needed to explain why my video was down, because this was proper stressing me out, and I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation. But the time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So I approach him and I'm like, dude, look,
I might have a creative solution. I don't believe in looking back, and if I have to re-record all these tracks with BeatStars, and this ends up being a war, it's going to be a real pain in the ass. The issue here is to see if you feel you've been treated unfairly by this whole publishing situation. I agree. I feel I've been treated unfairly by the fact my own videos I poured myself into is being used as leverage, that original agreement is being honored because of someone who wasn't even me fucked up, when it's only me who's getting stung financially. So basically, well, it's not true. You have a team of people you probably pay. So you have a team of people that are being affected financially. So basically, both of us have been fucked here, right? How about this? We figure out how to make this right with publishing for Sick Boi. I got an amazing way to get you a fuckload more of public sympathy and support. Make money and subscribers, and cut out all the greedy middlemen, because people are already so emotional about this. At the heart of this, it's that you are a Sick Boi producer, and I'm successful because I pour myself into this shit, right? We make a track together, independent of BeatStars, independent of anyone. Simple contract, 50-50 split, something that bangs, and that the narrative to put out publicly, the middle finger to the industry. You don't have to be so vocal about that part, because I don't want to damage your relationship with your distribution platform. What's this going to do to turn all this frustration my fans have their situation to a lot of public support? You're going to be seen as a champion for doing the right thing and get a bunch of new subs and clients, and I could breathe.
I know that things got complicated here, but out of principle, I don't...
So that's a little dangerous, to be honest, because now he's admitting that he has, kind of a good level of control on his audience, which he does. All content creators eventually do. And then when they build in a community, when it gets large enough, and they get moderators and they have enough people going on, they can tailor their community in directions.
I don't really want to budge on the master split for this thing, but I've got a much better idea, because a lot of my fan base are like now giving him, because I put the public post out, a lot of my fan base giving him grief, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want this guy's life to get ruined because of this. Like, it's despite how frustrated it's made me. I don't want this guy to get ruined. I don't want him to get abused about it. I just wanted to get the song back. That was the thing. So like, I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, look, I thought of a thing, because I am a man of principle. I didn't want to bend the threats and stuff about the song being claimed 100%. So I'm like, I've got a much better idea. Let's make a song. We'll split it 50-50 down the middle. Master, publishing, everything. A song from scratch. Then if we do that way, it'll be like a fuck you to the industry, yeah? You and me on a track. You'll make way more money this way because it's 50-50. You'll also get my fan base on your side. It's going to be a great thing. Because I'm always like, I want to look forward. I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look at all these things that happened in the past. I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more. And he rejected it. He turned it down, which I...
All right. He said, I find it hard to envision working on another song until this current situation is sorted. I work another job on the side, so I don't really have time to read through all of this right now and give you a satisfactory answer at the moment. I will reiterate that all I want is a fair conclusion for both of us. I don't want to bleed you dry or ask you for anything that I'm not owed. Yeah, he's being manipulative right here. He's phrasing his questions in ways and responses in ways that would come off as good as possible in front of a judge. I respect you and what you've accomplished with your work. I've always treated every artist I've ever worked with more than fairly. I've always asked independent artists who have such a bigger challenge. I've always asked independent artists who are granted to have a much bigger challenge for less than my due. Dragging this out only truly profits your lawyers, since my representative is employed by BeatStars and not directly by me. Complications and misunderstandings only profit your lawyer, not you or me or anyone on my team. This whole situation is hurting you and your image because you have so much more to lose than me. So I wish we could have kept this private. I feel for you, Ren. I really do. I think it's also fair to say that the details of these goods just far surpass our own comprehension, as we're merely artists and have no background in law. That's why I'm letting Blank advise me on this one. I've been fucked by a lot of people in this industry, and that's why I joined BeatStars/Sony publishers. I need someone on my side who fully understands how this all works, and they have only ever been fair and honest with me in every matter. I mean, he's not entirely wrong, Ren. You have more to lose than he does. I mean, all he has to lose is the respect of the Renegades, and your song is down and you're losing money every day. Technically, he has your balls in a vice on this one particular part of it. So here, it's not really gaslighting. It's like a strong rhetorical tool to tell you no, with also setting boundaries, which he's doing because he's going to provide these to a lawyer.
I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more. And he rejected it. He turned it down, which I still think to this day is a bit of a silly move given what happened and what happened next. But it's a shame, man. And if you're watching this, you really should have taken that. I'm sure you are watching it. You really should have taken that deal. It was brilliant. Not only would it set you up with way more money, which is obviously what you most care about in this situation, but it also got loads of my fans on your side, which would have also set you up for all things that you release independently as well, and you'd have come out this looking good. Shame. I offered you that olive branch. I offered quite a few olive branches on numerous occasions, which you weren't interested in. Then after that, there's a post on Instagram saying that I've stolen samples from people, which is bizarre because I never have. So I send him a message being like,
all right, if you're talking about my last track, the Vera had Hall samples cleared. Other than that, which track? Because all other tracks I've made with all my own beats. Receipts even online on a public database. We're not seeing his responses here, though. Which is why I've said many times you're welcome to share it. Be nice. But nice reach, man. It sounds like Ren's being cheeky with him now.
He said that a British artist has got in touch with him and been like, Ren steal samples, which is obviously complete made up bullshit, right? So I messaged him about that. I'm like, what samples have I stolen? The Vera Hall one that I just put out, totally cleared. We cleared that with publishing company because I actually don't like steal my samples. And then any covers that I've done, they're just on YouTube. You're allowed to do that because there's a cover license on YouTube. So like, what are you talking about? To which he then just like ignores it, takes the post down, and then like and then just goes on some other fucking tangent. So it's like kind of grasping at straws here to make me look like the bad guy. So we arranged to have this call with the lawyers and Kujo, and I'm actually really excited to have the call because it's the first time I can talk to Kujo face to face, deal with this like grown-ups, like adults, and talk to each other. But it's not how it pans out. So we get on the call, and the first thing that happened is the lawyer just says, look, Ren, I think that you taking this public was very unprofessional. And I was like, hold on a second, I wasn't the person who took this public, first of all. Like, taking the video down is an aggressive move. And also, I didn't take it public, first of all. Kujo was commenting countless things on his YouTube before I even made the comment. Calling me a liar, a coward.
Okay, but also, Ren, you have a much larger platform than Kujo does. So it's a different level of responsibility. But, I mean, at that point, you gave them ample warning not to go, like, you know what I mean? Like, going public, that's one of Ren's power moves, is he can go public. He does have a fan base. He does have a large audience.
Commenting countless things on his YouTube before I even make the comment. Calling me a liar, a coward, a numb. So, like, to say that I took this public, nah, I just responded to what happened and explained to my fans why the song was down. Those posts are still up for everyone to see. All the posts on his comments are still there for everybody to see. So first of all, it was kind of like we got into it straight away with me like having to be like,
of course you're gonna get into it straight away, dog. The lawyer is gonna try and by putting pressure on you, the lawyer puts you in defensive mode, and then it gives you ample opportunities to get emotional, to say something wrong. You know, that's what they're gonna do. I'm surprised your lawyers didn't warn you about this, Bobby.
I put it straight, and then everyone was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. The funniest thing about that call is Kujo was on it. He did not say a single word. Even when I like addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject to go, I can answer that. And I'm like,
that's kind of the point, though. You want your lawyer to do all the talking. Kujo's playing this right, dude. He's playing the game right. Like a dickhead.
Even when I like addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject to go, I can answer that. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's like, you know, like an adult. I want to talk to this person. And then my lawyer there was even a moment where my lawyer's like, look, I want to address this question to Kujo. Do you actually feel like this situation is fair? He says nothing, and the lawyer interjects again. So for that whole call, which, you know, took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word. And I thought that was disrespectful, given the circumstances. He later claimed that it was because he doesn't legally know enough and it should be between the lawyers. But no, man, like, regardless of your legal knowledge.
Oh. I mean, to be fair, that's what you hire a lawyer for.
Doesn't legally know enough and it should be between the lawyers. But no, man, like, regardless of your legal knowledge, we can still have a conversation like adults. Like, I'm not
No, you can't. You don't have a conversation with someone that you're suing. You let lawyers handle all of that. What Ren's saying here is just bad advice in general. It worked out well for Ren this time, but if you were being sued by somebody, you don't call them up. You don't talk to them. Every one of your transactions are recorded. And if you're paying someone an immense amount of money to do your talking on your behalf, you let the lawyer do the talking. That's what they're for.
To try and like intimidate or anything like that. I want to talk to you like a grown-up.
You have to understand the power imbalance, though, Ren. You have a massive audience. You are successful. You have the renegades. This guy is nothing. You have a paid-for lawyer. This one's lawyer is supplied by BeatStars. Like, you guys aren't the same, so you are intimidating him. Buddy, come on, man. Look at yourself right now as a big business going up against a little guy. Just this time, the little guy's in the wrong. Which, honestly, is a lot of the times. To be honest, usually the people that sue big business are in the wrong. But big business usually kowtow because dealing with lawyers and all this bullshit sucks ass.
Brother. And that didn't happen. I wasn't afforded that luxury. I was talking a fair bit on that call about how I felt about the situation and what I felt was right. And I also said on that call that I didn't think that a retroactive split was right, because of all the reasons I've mentioned, but it is what it is, man. And then we came off the call and I felt pretty let down by it, to be honest. This is where the plot gets even more ridiculous, and I'm sorry this is a long video, guys, but this is mad, and this is emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I messaged him and like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples. Then I click on the profile, I realise that it's Kujo's girlfriend, so I immediately unsend all those messages. Because to be honest, look, he was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what? He needs someone supporting him, even though that he's been an asshole. I don't want to like start messaging his girlfriend and shit, whatever. I'll leave her out of this. But she sees that I've unsent the messages, and she instigates the conversation, says, have you done an oopsie?
Yeah. So Ren was right. Once he responds to all the stuff and then realizes that it's their significant other, yes, from a position, especially from a position of power, you don't want to be that guy sending DMs, arguing with, you know, your lawyer, like the people you're in litigation with's girlfriend. So it's smart of him to delete it, and it's smart of her to capitalize on that. But
her out of this. But she sees that I've unsent the messages, and she instigates the conversation, says, have you...
So, oh, it looks like we did a little oopsie here. He did do a little oopsie by reaching out to her, but obviously he didn't know. So let's see how he responded. Yeah, I didn't realize you knew Kujo personally. I was trying to explain myself fairly, but I have no interest in affecting anyone on his personal relationships. Only to took me a second to figure out on your profile, not interested in fucking up the dude's life. I just want the situation resolved fairly. I'm not interested in him being screwed over for publishing at all. I too have been a struggling producer for ages, and it's only the past 2 years things have been blowing up. But I don't want to get a video I poured my heart and soul. Like, he should have just not done this part. This last one should have just been left out. Because again, he fills her with all the emotional bullshit, which is going to trigger her to make a response that, because like she's going to feel like he's gaslighting her, and it's just gonna blow out of, you can't use language like this when you talk to women, because women, not all of them, women suffer from a higher trait of negative emotions. So that means that they know how to play around in this emotional arena better than anybody. They're used to it. And I'm not saying that women are manipulative, but if someone of the sexes was going to be manipulative, it would be the people that understand emotions better than anybody. So one, he hasn't said anything wrong up here, but when he brings up all of this shit, she's going to be like, oh, he's gaslighting me and trying to turn me on my man. And so this created another response that wasn't necessary. He had it good here. This, you don't need this when you're talking. Like, he should have just cut off all ties and quit responding right there.
Done an oopsie. We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it. It actually ends up being, it seems to me.
Okay, god damn it, there's so much to read here. What the fuck?
And she instigates the conversation, says, have you done an oopsie? We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it.
Listen, I hear you. I understand you were taken aback and had no any idea this was going on. I also know what it's like to pour your heart and soul into a song. See, he shouldn't have done that. I tried so hard to empathize with you, but all that dried up when you made your public statements. I can understand you informing your community the status of Sick Boi. However, okay, so one, he didn't probably incite his fans to go harass them. However, he knew by going public that was going to be the fallout. So, I mean, he has some culpability there. And for you renegades that went to harass this man, you should be ashamed of yourself, because it only makes his things harder. To go harass him while deforming envious character, that couldn't be the furthest from the truth. Pretending he only came after you because the track is successful. I mean, that's exactly why he did it. Saying that he's asking for more than he's owed. He is. Saying he's uncooperative, implying he will not do anything about it. I mean, he is. And every opportunity he was given to go against it, he didn't. Those are all lies that you fed your community, and we both know it. Well, as someone who is not necessarily part of Ren's community, I've heard about 30 of his songs, and I like all 30 of them. But I consider myself a DGGer. Long live Destiny, homie. I'm not part of his community. I've been very critical of Ren in this video, and Ren is in the right. So he did not lie to his audience. He didn't feed those lies to his community. And anyone that knows anything about a base level of law would know that this guy is in the wrong. So she's already wrong here. I know that all the deceitful people in the industry can make any last person paranoid, but he is not out to get you. Well, I mean, he's abusing his current position after selling a shoddy product to demand more money than he's deserved from his initial contract. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, this is on Kujo for stealing a sample. Don't fucking steal from people. Boom! Problem solved. He has a very strong anchored sense of justice. I can assure you he's never meant to step on any toes. You tell your fans you expected him to at least come to you directly. Hasn't he told you that he was 100% sure you were fully involved in the conversation in the first place? Especially when this had been going on for months. From Kujo's perspective, it makes a lot of sense to assume that Ren is involved. Because at the end of the day, Ren is the one who signs these people's paychecks. These people are working on Ren's behalf. They're doing things to assist Ren. These people have to get money somewhere, right? Ren is not just, doesn't have a posse around him for free. So these people should have been informing Ren. So there's nothing wrong with assuming that Ren was in on the loop. I've seen how he handles himself around artists. Anyone that has ever worked with him has praised him for his flexibility, kindness, and integrity. He has underchanged or even offered beats to small artists plenty of times because he truly cares about the art above everything. You say you're an underdog, yet you stage public humiliation thing on your and his channel. The fuck? Almost like you're calling the accused of in the trial where the jury is made up of only your devoted fans. Well, that's the unfortunate side effect of being more popular. What are you trying to accomplish? Who the fuck do you think you are? Do you hope the thousands of people denigrating him, shitting on his every accomplishments, threatening him will somehow bring you justice? You're talking about receipts, encouraging him to come forward and face the wrath of your community, expecting what exactly? Is this really who you are as a person and how you operate? It's distasteful, and I mean, all right, she handled herself pretty well. I mean, everything she said, other than this part about like lying to his community, was pretty on point. Ren is not the underdog in the situation. Under no, he's the corporation. Right now, you are rooting for the corporation. If you are watching this as a Ren fan. Ren is the multi-million-dollar artist. This guy is a piece of shit working 2 jobs while producing music on the side. Ren is the corporation. Ren just also happens to be correct. Which, ironically, most corporations are when they are being sued. Like when someone sues you for having a really hot coffee cup. It's like, what? It's fucking coffee. So he is not the underdog here. Kujo is. He's just the dog that's correct. At the end of the day, Kujo doesn't get anything. He shouldn't get anything. He already got paid his $99 and whatever his percentage of that was. That was his cut. Now, if Ren wants to cut him additional publishing rights because Ren is a good guy, he can't. But Ren doesn't owe him 15% of his master, and on top of that, he doesn't owe him $3,000. He is coming after Ren because the song blew up and he thinks Ren has money because Ren has money.
It actually ends up being, it seems to me, like it's like
why do you not see him as your kin, a slightly out of place ADHD artist trying his best to make a living? Assuming he had ill intent from the get-go is extremely detrimental to the resolution of things. Trying to see his try to see his side truly. Well, he didn't think it was initially malice. I mean, Ren did not handle this well. First thing Ren should have found out was who he was talking to, what were they talking about, and exactly how it happened. And then at that point, he needs to reprimand the buddy of his that didn't let him in the loop. 2, he needs to contact his lawyer, find out exactly what his lawyer has been told, what the problems are, and if his lawyer was withholding information from Ren that could be pertinent to his industry or job or music or life, Ren should have terminated that lawyer and hired a new one. At the end of the day, his team fucked up on like 4 different ways. And Ren did initially buckle down harder than this guy did. Ren should have done a counter offer and then seen what the water was first. Ren jumped the shark as soon as he saw the numbers. Ren is not in the right here. He's just not in the wrong. Which typically is how law goes.
Amicable after a while of talking to each other. Like, we should, you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like...
All right, I'm sorry to... wait, did I read all that, actually? Yeah, I did not. In your distress, you were so fortunate that Kujo isn't all the things you said. You're lucky that he's deeply kind and has integrity. Because, to be honest, if you dragged my name through the mud like that, I wouldn't have been so patient. I'm sorry that I'm losing my fucking temper, but I'm absolutely furious. She's goated right now, by the way. His lawyer's not even him. His lawyer, with his own willpower, suggested he could be entitled to 100 of the earnings, and you practically turn that into Kujo said he wants 100% of the earnings, when specifically he said he didn't want that and didn't think it was fair at all. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still having his lawyer push for that. You know what I mean? So he does want that. If he disagrees with it, he should tell his lawyer no. And then they should renegotiate and then see where they fall. Like, you can renegotiate, go back and forth, and then negotiations can fail. But at least let the negotiations play out. Blank, I understand why you're mad, which is why I deleted my messages, and I think you're perfectly justified to defend him. See, Ren is goated. I've been fucked over so many times in this industry, so I have something to say that is close to me and hold hostage as leverage has been gutting. I wish you'd come to me months ago. My lawyer should have too. Admitting wrong, dangerous to do. The blank, and I've already told him that I don't want to work with them anymore. Perfect. That's exactly what I was saying. You should fire them. I'd never posted publicly until I saw the message from Kujo on his YouTube saying this was basically all my lawyer's fault, which technically, to some degree, letting it escalate the way it did was, and that was somehow bending the truth. At that point, I had said nothing to my fans, and they only found the video because of the copyright strike came direct from his channel. Yeah, I mean, well, he might post on like Instagram that he's going through a shitty situation, but I don't think he's gonna go around talking shit to people about stuff. I got upset when he sent me a message saying it was an industry standard that anyone who buys a beat to cover licensing because it's felt super gaslighting. I knew it wasn't true, and he was still sticking to his guns on it.
After a while of talking to each other.
Before I made any kind of post, I offered money, offered to split publishing, told him I'd chase my publishers, but that really just wasn't what I just wanted my video back. I was getting literally hundreds of messages asking where the video was, and it was upsetting. This part doesn't matter, and it was upsetting when I saw those comments who wrote basically shifting all the blame onto the lawyer. I snapped. You shouldn't be airing any of this out to her, buddy. Look, I'm sure there's truth in what you're saying about his character. I'm not sure if he can see it, but what his lawyer is pushing for him to do isn't fair. Facts. He's asking for $3,000 out of pocket when the problem was the publisher's fault. Facts. The fault of Kujo selling a beat he shouldn't have. Facts. And the fault of everyone not even telling me this frustrating was going on, and then all of a sudden I wake up and one of my most streamed videos is blocked in my channel that I really worked hard on has a copyright strike when I know nothing about this. Facts. Facts, 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 facts. I wish I had one of those buttons that went boom, bass. Then on top of that, I try and resolve it and tell him tell him I'm gonna get every penny he's owed, and the lawyer turns around and says they want even more than that. That's what the lawyers do. I get he's very angry because of waiting so long. Trust me. But I was in brain damage treatment, dude. I literally got home 2 weeks to all this chaos. True. I had no idea the situation was even happening. True. I tried to deal with it really amicably. True. I even said I'd pay him cash if the people claiming the sample put their foot down and didn't budge. Dope. But then posting stuff about me in comments when I was trying to be calm and about the fact my video was being removed just really rubbed me the wrong way. There's still a right way to sort this out, but it's between me and Kujo. Both of our lawyers are inflating the whole situation. I even offered an olive branch so many times, and it's financial. I can't read it.
Like, we should, you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like,
I'm sorry to reiterate, but I really think the people on your side should have. It was their responsibility since they're working for you, bruh. Facts. Facts? Oh no! I just pulled down my phone. Ah. Oh, there it is. Damn it, boy. God damn it, Bobby. Ha-ha! Falling on me, bro. Who the fuck? Oh! I dropped my phone, bro. Then it got stuck in the wires. What up? Oh, all right. Let's. Damn.
Basically, the long and short of it.
Hold on. Yeah, they should have told them. This is two. Wait. Yeah, they should have told. Yes, they should have told them this is. This too. They said they think I didn't need it because of the brain damage treatment. But for it to escalate to this is so mad. I mean, so far she seems goated. I feel for you, Ren. Truly, I won't lie. I'm still mad about all the people you sent his way. I understand acting impulsively and emotionally. I have ADHD too. Also, it's your life's work. But the copyright strike should have never happened, especially because the publishing situation is muddied so much by the publishing mistake on your boyfriend's part. Oh, so while okay, so oh, Ren. We both so technically this is in part of that other one. We both think it's very uncool. He lost trust in you when you did that. It felt like a low blow. So Ren does have a higher barrier of responsibility here than Kujo does. Because one, Ren is essentially a business at this point. Though he is Ren, I mean, he employs people. People do things on his name. I bet you his name is trademarked. I bet you he's got an LLC or something for his business. He's got a manager. He's got a legal team. Like, Ren is a business. Never let that fool you. Ren is the music industry now. He's in it. Now, he might be a good actor in that industry, but he is established now. Maybe he wasn't 2 years ago. Maybe he wasn't 4 years ago, but he is now. So right now, so far, kind of respect to this girl for holding her own, and she's not being like, bro, you can, maybe it might be a cultural thing, but my DMs do not look like this. My DMs are like, get fucked, you fat motherfucker. I'm gonna take you for every dollar. And then my response is like, good luck, bitch. I know the law. I'll fuck you up. Like, the fact that everyone's being so hospitable, I don't know how to say the word anymore. Everyone's being so kind. It's truly jarring, honestly. Bro, my DMs get wild. I lost my trust when I saw his comments. That's why I reacted. That was literally the thing. Actually, promise I woke up, went on the video, read the comment. They really drove me nuts because I felt we had some common ground. Ren should have not have said any of that. Ren should have just responded with, I've already discussed this with him. I told him what my deadline was. He did not budge. I didn't get any offers or any kind of agree to sit down or parlay. There was no pause in our negotiations or conversations. He just completely left me on red, so I did the next logical thing. He escalated first, I escalated second. That's the rules of escalation, bro. You want to go fucking nuclear, My nuclear is heavier than yours. My nuclear comes with actual fallout of rabid fans that are probably willing to screech at the top of their lungs.
Is like, she feels like Kujo's been missing.
Oh my fucking God, dude, I'm reading more than a book today. Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I knew about this all along, you could have actively participated in the negotiations and maybe reached a point of agreement and avoided the copyright strike and all that ensured. If I were you, I'd be furious at my lawyer for keeping me out of it. Facts. I understand that brain surgery means a lot of downtime, but this has been going on for so long. Double facts. We're absolutely flabbergasted to learn that you had no idea. Another fact, honestly. That's how unbelievable it all was to us. He's not asking for money from your pocket, but maybe your publishers are insured in the case they mess up that bad. Nope, that doesn't track. The whole money/contract situation seems beyond both of you, to be fully honest. Not at all. He paid for a service. The service he bought was bunk. He doesn't owe your boy shit. I'm not being insulting there, but I agree with you that talking through lawyers is the easiest way to get drowned in law jargon and protocols and other bullshit. I'm actually on the same page there. They're asking for 15% of the mastering, right? And I said the publishers should absorb the costs. I've already propositioned that. I have proof of this too. I want you guys to know I'm actively trying to find a fair solution here. And I'm not trying to fuck him over, but also I think it's really unfair how it's being dealt with, because it seems like everyone here, it seems like everyone's fuck up but mine. Ooh. So yeah, I've been really emotional about it. Ren, it is your fuck up. Come on, man. Been in management for 12 years. I've owned businesses that unfortunately I turned away from for love, and that didn't go very well. The people that you have around you, the people you have employed, are yours. You picked them. You put them in that position. And you might have good people that care about you, but in the situation, they cared more about your medical stuff than your business. And they left him out when they should have told you and got your original 2 cents. You are to blame as much as they are. That's just the way it works. The shit rolls uphill, baby. I mean, if an employee says something bad, it's reflected on the business. Come on, man. It's the way it works. Like Trump hiring and firing people all the time because he brought them in to do a job, they suck ass, and he fires them. Well, he's the one who hired them. He's responsible for their suck ass. It's just the way it works, buddy.
Represented and feels like it's a lot of it.
Oh, actually, I don't think I read that last part.
The long and short of it is like she feels like Kujo's been misrepresented.
All right. He's been fucked over. Whoa!
And feels like it's a...
Why are you in full screen mode? What the fuck did I click? God.
Basically, the long and short of it is like
he's been fucked over too so bad, you know. A dude he's been used to work with stole his beats, claimed credit. It's all making money from his hard work to this day. Everyone is traumatized with trust issues. And then he responds, the industry's fucked.
He feels like Kujo's been misrepresented and feels like it's a lot of the industry for my lawyer.
All right, let's see. I'm a smart cookie, and I understand it's the price for the exclusive lease. I'm willing to give $3K like a recoup of the master split if my publishers admit their fuck up and absorb the 15%. I don't know how much calculated that amount. I don't think it should come from you. I agree. I'm not sure either. I don't know why people keep telling me I need to pay $3K. That rubbed me wrong way too. But also, dude, if they push for 15% on the master with the back payment, which isn't in the original contract, that's so much money, and so much money has gone into promoting this record. I'm happy to do it if it's moving forward, but it's a different thing, because if they back paid, I'd lose lose out a lot here over leverage. It doesn't feel good to me. If it's money that made me moving forward, okay, but honestly, blank, what I'd rather do is scrap the contract with Beat Stags, and just drop a simple one between me and blank, and that gives him 15%. So I mean, he's even working with him through here, and he doesn't have to.
Stuff like that, which is kind of what Kujo feels like, right?
But publishers should have taken care of it. I know it's not your fault, but it's not blank either, so someone should have to correct that. He's trying to push for so much. The publishing has nothing to do with the master, by the way. Blank should have backdated publishing. By the way, it's 200%, 100. It'll be a good chunk of money. Really good. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm disputing the back payment of 15% of the master for the past years of work. That's insane, because it wasn't in the original contract. If it goes that way, I'm really sorry. That's going to get ugly, because as a person of principle, whatever happens, blank will get paid what he's owed. But it shouldn't be more than what he's owed. If he's got to make a new producer agreement, that's okay. That means we honor new terms going forward, and it's ideal that independent of BeatStars, but let's get why you guys are doing that. Situations, again, I don't need you guys to understand. I do need you guys to understand what your lawyers are pushing for.
She then threatens to break my kneecaps, which, even though it's a little bit out.
If I take it public, I'll make sure your boyfriend doesn't get grief, okay? Even though I don't feel like he's dealt with this perfectly, but I know you feel the same about me. Leave him out of this if you do, please. Look, or else I'm flying to London and breaking your kneecaps, lol. I mean, obviously she was saying that as a joke, buddy. You even hearted it, bro.
Kind of what Kujo feels like, right? She then threatens to break my kneecaps, which, even though it's a little bit out of pocket, you know me, I laugh about it. The thing that rubs me up about things like that is, if that had been the other way around, I never actually once got violent about this situation. If that had been the other way around, they would have been like, Ren's such a violent, later on, they would have been like, Ren's such a violent person, or using bully tactics, because they've spoken about like how I'm using bully tactics by simply talking about the situation publicly.
Well, it is though. I mean, it's not. But again, you have such a tremendous following that you have to be more careful with your language. Luckily, Ren has been very careful with his language in all of this, so he's been doing pretty good.
Bully tactics, because they've spoken about like how I'm using bully tactics by simply talking about the situation publicly, transparently. She also gaslights me by saying, you know, like, imagine what would have happened if he had.
I can't tell, bro. I'm like that too, okay? But shit, bro, this could have ended very fucking badly, and you know it. I know the last thing I wanted. We don't even have to go there, but I know, okay? You have your own PR team, so it's bound to get a bit messy. Okay, let me explain. Oh my god, I don't even care about all this shit anymore.
Mental health issues. I have a very long list of mental health issues. I am the person with mental health issues. You're not considering what it does to my mental health, are you? When you take down a song that means that much to me, a song that I've poured into, that I'm exposing a part of me that's very vulnerable about my health journey. Like, you're not considering that, are you? All I've done is post publicly about the situation. I've never told anybody to send you guys abuse or anything like that. And actually, if anybody's watching this right now, for clarity, even though I am very annoyed about the situation, I don't want anyone to send them abuse. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm annoyed about the situation, but it's done now. The song's down. It's gone. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I'm not trying to ruin somebody's life over this. I'll have my own form of revenge, as you'll see at the end of this video, but I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life over this. So, like, if they say to me that I'm trying to incentivize stuff like that, I'm not, guys. I don't want you to go and abuse them, right? But
good. Those disclaimers are good. You with a large audience, those caveats are needed upfront and honest and bright and loud. Do not dox. Do not go after my enemies, whoever they might be. Do not.
It is up to me to talk about the situation fairly. So, like, we seem to make some middle ground. She's even talking to me about, like, her ADHD and knows that I've got ADHD, and, like, you know, maybe we've just gotten. So I'm like, you know what? She seems pretty level-headed, right? So, like, cool.
Don't do it, Ren.
You know what? Maybe these guys it's just a big misunderstanding, and we can figure a way to amicably sort this out. And I say to her, look, yeah, I'm happy to split the publishing, but I don't really want to split the master out of principle, because I bought this, right? You know, but at this point I start being like, you know what? Maybe I'll split some of the master for the future stuff just to get this out of the way, even though I don't believe
fuck, man. There is a shared responsibility. I'm working on hard on redeeming it. I'm not expecting to bend the knee. He holds grudges. He's upset about the public shaming and the fallout from that. But there's some shared responsibilities here, regardless of what came after, just from an unemotional level. I understand that you need to hear him acknowledge that, but you both came to terms with that fact that may not happen. And that doesn't make him an asshole. It kind of does. I get it comes back from a lack of experience in these situations where songs blow up and right holders who most of the time aren't even the performers ask for way too much because they have people over a barrel. It doesn't make him an asshole, but it does make me feel less good about the fact I'm actually giving him money I technically shouldn't be to cover his mistake. I'm going to do it regardless because people believe they should be paid for their input, but I'm taking the fall for something he's done, which is why when I read the comments like, it's all Ren's lawyers, I then explode. Yeah, but you need to take your fucking prejudice out of it, man.
I should, because they've stolen the beat with a stolen sample. I'm like, if this just gets this over the line, I'm happy to split the future master. I even say that in the email thread to the lawyers and stuff, right? So I'm conceding a little bit here, because I just want this situation done with. We end on a good note in this conversation, then the next morning I wake up to post from her all over my Reddit lying about the contract, and then I...
Oh god, yeah, that's why you can't talk to him, man. This is, you see this in the political world nonstop, which is what it makes me wonder why the fuck I even want to enter politics on YouTube and stuff, because I know it's rife with fake fucking people that will do anything for a soundbite, anything for an awesome clip, and it's never really about honesty or truth or any of that shit that matters. It's all about just making content. All right. Unfortunately, I'm not able to share screenshots of that document. I can, however, confirm that I need the license. Ren should hold the producer harmless in case of an uncleared sample, that any payment for a sample clearance has to be license borne. Sending some of his publishing fees could be acceptable, except Rim's teams have insisted on giving them all up. I also agree that publishing society should be held accountable, but it's still Ren's track in the end. Kujo had no responsibility there. I'm not sure Kujo would want to collab again given the debacle this has taken. The whole social media thunderstorm is messy, very stressful, and honestly unnecessary. You have no legal leg to stand on. He sold bad product. That's it. End of analysis. I'm not even going to read the rest
See
of
a
this.
comment on Anthony Ray's video where he's talking about the situation from her, saying this is what the contract says, and she made up. She wrote a whole passage that wasn't even in our contract. It was completely made up. So after her being super nice to me behind the scenes in this conversation and feeling like I wake up to read this and I'm like, I start losing my mind because I'm like, these guys, they're like, they pretend they're on my side and then it's just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I put her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, this is defamation. You can't.
Dude, come on, for fuck's sake. Ren, you need to stop. I'm not even gonna
be out here like making up stuff that's not even in a contract, yo. So she's like,
none of this should have been posted.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Right, so next I find a bunch of messages on Reddit from Kujo's girlfriend lying about the contract, which I'm going to put up here, which is actually very illegal, by the way. No.
Where's this at? Let's do it.
No, I won't be pressing charges over it. I just want to get this situation out of the way, but so I'm just going to put all these up for you to pause and read if you want to. It's ridiculous, basically. She also says that I was obviously upset, so I wasn't the most cooperative. As you guys, if you skip back in this video, you'll see...
You're not completely wrong here, but you have to know that Kujo is trying to discuss it with Ren without a middleman. No, he hasn't. It was the day after the strike. Ren was obviously upset, so he wasn't the most cooperative. That's not true. We saw the comments. He refused to follow his thing. I think, like, he did acknowledge those. Well, hold on. He doesn't get royalties. Why would he get royalties? What the fuck? They had a signed contract.
I was extremely cooperative when I found out what was going on. I was being very amicable when I was trying to offer Kujo solutions and being amazingly supportive and sympathetic. I refused to fully acknowledge that a mistake on my end causing Kujo not to get paid was at the heart of all of this. It wasn't. A stolen sample was at the heart of all of this. Yes, the publishers, right, failed to correctly register Kujo, which wasn't anything to do with me. They've now remedied that, and there'll be a back payment for whatever percentage we end up on. No money's been lost here, right? That is something that was the publisher's fault, which I was very annoyed about, which I actually sent a message to the publishers about.
Hey guys, here's the situation in a nutshell. I woke up this morning with a copyright strike on my track Sick Boi, which was fully lit for BeatStars. After some digging, the producer that him and his legal team have been chasing publishing money with for a year with no luck. I definitely forwarded the contract to my publishing team, CC'd on email, but we've checked up ASAP why that is. For the complicated matters, we understand that there is an uncleared sample in the track, which the original creators have been chasing a sample clearance fee from. I am under the impression that any track purchased from BeatStars are owned by the producer, and they don't have any for the clear samples, but correct me if I'm wrong here. Okay. So it sounds like right off the rip, Ren reached out to the appropriate people immediately, wanted to solve this as quickly as possible, and it just sounds like Kujo has a bad taste in his mouth from other artists, and then he just buckled immediately. And I mean, after a year. So it's, in this post, it says that Kujo's been trying to deal with this for a year. So in Kujo's position, I would have done something very similar. Probably not the whole lawyer stuff, and then all that, but I would want some kind of form of back pay for not receiving any money if they already had an agreement for that. So I mean, Kujo might have some leg to stand on here. Now, granted, he still sold a bad product.
Right? That is something that was the publisher's fault, which I was very annoyed about, which I actually sent a message to the publishers about, explaining how annoyed I was about that situation, fighting for Kujo in that, when I didn't have to fight for Kujo because he was being a prick, right? So I sent that message to them anyway, fighting on Kujo's side, because despite all of this, I am a man of principles still, right? I kept threatening to sue and go public. No, I didn't. I wasn't threatening to sue. I did say I would go public if my song carried on being used as leverage. I gave them a very fair warning because they didn't need to use the song, the video as leverage, and they kept on doing that. That was because I kept
also, if it was a negotiating tactic to get Ren to come to the table, it clearly worked. Ren's at the table, so give him the ability to load the song up again and operate in good faith. You have the publishing rights. You can just go strike it down again if he walks away from the agreement. Like, that's what Kujo should have done. When Ren came to the table and started talking with him, he should have cleared it of the copyright strike, put it back on the platform, and then worked out a deal between them. But lawyers and Kujo probably thought they could go for more money because Ren is young, new, and, just blew up in the industry.
Very fair warning because they didn't need to use the song, the video as leverage, and they kept on doing that. That was because I kept getting hundreds of messages a day from my fans being like, where's the video, and I wanted to address it all at once, and I also felt like I was being treated extremely unfairly, right? I had to accept...
Oh, okay, well, I got my buddy sitting in the Discord lobby, and I'm in here reacting to this. It's 2 hours, man. God damn. All right, the issue is that Ren didn't honor the original contract included in the terms and conditions of BeatStars. Platform that he bought the beat from. He basically paid a flat fee of £80 while agreeing to pay a percentage of all earnings of the song Kujo, which he still hasn't paid to this day. Which is true. If that's what they agreed on, yeah. If they haven't got paid, Kujo has every reason to be mad. Kujo used vocals from a Bulgarian choir in a beat and disclosed the used third-party sample on the beat page. He didn't notice, for some reason, nor cared to ask if the sample had been cleared paid for, but traditionally is the artist label's duty, even if that means going halvesies with the producer. When the song blew up, the Bulgarians went knocking on Ren's door. Only then did Kujo receive mail from his team after months of ignoring him when asking for payment. Instead of offering an acceptable solution, they've been trying to have him accept a flat fee and give up all of his rights to the song. Kujo was hesitant to take the deal, but his lawyers insisted that it was abnormal to refuse. Kujo's lawyer said the only situation was to issue a copyright strike since they were being ignored at this point. Yeah, that's what a lawyer would do. If you've been reaching out for a year and no one has been coming through, you haven't had a response, or you're getting the wheels are turning, yeah, you issue the copyright strike if you have the publishing power. Yeah. Turns out Ren wasn't involved at all in those negotiations, so the takedown of Sick Boi took him by surprise and got him understandably upset. Yeah. When the strike happened, Kujo had no idea either. Ren sent a mail to Kujo, personal mail, that he doesn't check as much. I believe he was out with his friends the morning after. Ren immediately went into Kujo's comments. They talked privately to no satisfaction, and Ren went public asking his fault. Well, no, they talked a few times, so she's wrong there. Kujo had no idea that Ren didn't know about it. He never wanted the video to be taken down or nor to take 100%, but it doesn't sit well with him. He just wants to get paid, and his lawyer feels like a sample isn't a reason to remove all of his rights on the song. Like, well, if that's written into the contract by BeatStars. So the problem is, Ren's problem is that he's getting the fucking screws put on him for using the beat. And then the beat maker is mad because he's getting the screws put on him for using the sample. Ren is in the same situation this guy is, except this guy actively stole from somebody.
Being treated extremely unfairly, right? I had to accept by giving up all my shares of the song in exchange for a fixed fee. Yeah, that's between my lawyers. Ren took him public the next morning. Yes, I did.
I don't want to reread all of this shit, but Kujo has also claimed to me and publicly that he'd been chasing publishing money for over a year with no reply, which is why he was so annoyed. As to his girlfriend, and this was another lie, as proven in the next screenshots. Fuck! Dude, literally the message you posted yesterday said you guys were chasing for a year, and Kujo's told me multiple times. I can go back and grab proof. Hold up. What happened is Kujo's been asking for blank about his publishing for almost a year when the song was posted, basically, and pretty much ghosted him until the Bulgarians showed up at your door. Okay, but wait. You didn't censor that Paul out. That was April, in my understanding. Oh, they might have reached out to the wrong person. Yeah, but okay. Ren, be careful here, buddy, because now you're doing that same shit that big corporations do. I'm sorry, you reached out to the wrong person in this department. Please reach out to this other person. I'm disconnecting the call. Guys, Kujo might have been fucked over a little. Bro, I'm not angry right now. I just woke up and I have ADHD, so I have no fucking memory. Not since time whatsoever. I'm not sure he did, and I'm not sure he claimed he did. Like I said, I don't remember, nor was I involved with everyone from the get-go. I know there was a blank regarding the same. Can't help, like 50
right,
hours.
Let's take this home now. At this point, I've just lost all amicability, right? I'm pissed off. I messaged Kujo's girlfriend and him saying, it's the first time I've...
The video goes back up when the agreement is signed and I get my first payment. Best I can do for you. You'll get your money, but if I see a single post from you and your girlfriend on any of this story, reply, Reddit, lying about the situation, don't play victim again. If I tell the truth of the situation, I mean a single one that gives any one-sided information about this, because you essentially be taking thousands of pounds of my pocket. I'd appreciate you to acknowledge publicly at the end of this what you should have never sold, an uncleared sample. Facts!
Threatened to sue, but I'm like, if I see any more lies from you guys about this situation, I will sue you guys. Because it's like, that's my public image. Like,
I'm leaving now, but I'm going to make this very clear. I've never once threatened to sue up until now. But if I see one single post which lies about the facts of the situation, I will sue for defamation. From either you or Kujo, stick to facts, stick to everything that was said in these messages, stick to the reality of the contract, and post whatever you like. But please do not contact me again. This has been so frustrating. And future, if your boyfriend is annoyed about something, tell him to contact the fucking artist about it and read his own contract before throwing a hissy fit. Fuck yeah,
I
Ren!
pride myself on the fairness that I show everyone that I work with, right, and my principles, and I'm also very against greed, and I stand against it militantly, which a lot of you will know from my work and how I treat people that I work with, right? So them spreading this stuff that I'm trying to be greedy here massively hurts my public image. So I was like, if you guys lie anymore about this, yeah, I'm going to do something about it, basically. And then I'm talking to Kujo and things get more heated. We get another email from their lawyer saying, you know, like, if you won't agree to our terms, we will take 100% of the song. That's where we stand on it. That is final. If you do not...
All right, I'm not trying to take 100%, bro. Like, what? Just get your lawyer to write up a contract so we can settle this, man. It's been over 8 months and your lawyer's still bouncing emails back and forth with zero progress. I made it clear I'm willing to make concessions and never ended to take 100%. I'm not agreeing to a retroactive payment, brother. I made that very clear. I agreed to a publishing split and advances going forward and a new master split, but I'm not going to spend weeks going through my receipts of the video. That's what you agreed to on the call. I have better things to do. No, it isn't. I've always said I was against retroactive split, and no, brother, I'm independent and that aside. I paid for an unlimited beat pack from the start is ridiculous. Yeah. All right, dude, I like Rin going savage.
We're taking everything. So I messaged back. I'm going to show you that email. I messaged back, essentially summarizing this email. I just say,
no need. I will issue the takedown myself. The way this has been dealt with from the start has been ridiculous. No prior contract trying to establish from Kujo about the publishing issue, which I explained to him was nothing to do with me, and it was, unfortunately. That is the people you probably set up with. An unsolicited sample being sold, which was on his part, which also breached the contract and will definitely play a role in court. The video being removed and no warning with no warning is the way to leverage defamation spread by Kujo and his girlfriend on both of my own personal YouTube pages, my Reddit page of text, not actually included in the original contract, which you can't do. Wallace claimed to be Kujo's girlfriend, all of which I have proof of, and then playing the victim when I explained to my fans the song was taken down. The song means a great deal to me about my over 10-year health struggles, and ironically about greed in the music industry. To further add insult to injury, Kujo did not say a single word on the call when we had no... that was important.
I'm going to take down the song myself. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of you threatening me with my own song that I poured myself into. I've explained what it means to me. I explained to both of them what it means to me. So I'm like, I'm taking it down myself. I don't want to let them win over this. I've been in situations in the music industry before where I had to concede because I was broke and I just had to let a powerful, greedy person win over me, you know, like, and I know this is not the same situation. It's not like Kujo is like this in this huge position of power here, but how they've dealt with this whole situation was ridiculous. So I was like, rather than like bend to this leverage and just out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. And it's ironic, man, because the song is about greed, you know, and it hurts me a lot that it's down now. It proper hurts me, man. I can't stress that enough because of what the song was and what the song meant to me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I sent these emails. I also sent a mass email out to everybody, the publisher, Kujo, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed at how this whole situation been dealt with, because ultimately at the core of this situation, the only person getting proper hurt financially from this is me, right?
Well,
because of my hard work
hold on.
to promote this music.
That's not true. I mean, what's his name got hurt too. I mean, granted, he was the one to fuck up the most, but Kujo got fucked. And Kujo got fucked, so that means it probably fucked over Kujo's girlfriend. I mean, these people are affected by it, buddy. And the people you employ, I mean, the lawyer that you potentially fired, like, these people were affected by it.
Because of my story and how that's been exploited. I'm the person who will suffer future losses for the earnings, and regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second. That song I was proud of. What it meant to people, I was proud of. The messages that I get from people every day, telling me like, how much they relate to the song, how much it helps them through difficult times, you know, like, that's gone now, that's taken away from people. So yeah, pissed off. Anyway, so I sent that email out. Me and Kujo share some pretty heated words. If you're a petty person, you'll probably like to pause.
Make it make sense. No, brother, I have no time for none of this out of principle. Fuck you. Just want to get my bag. Sounds like someone speaking from principle.
Was on some of this. It's ridiculous. One of the things that took the piss the most.
Yes. You sold an unlicensed sample and chasing more money than your own. Where's my fucking money then?
That's what he said. I just lost my cool at this point. I lost all patience.
Not gonna listen to your message, but just want to let you know I think Blink has done you dirty as fuck in this whole thing in his own interest. From one artist to another, you're not an artist, dog. You're willing, like, he offered you an artist way out and you didn't, you told him no. From one artist to another, I'm sorry if it came to this, got so fucked up, but I'm going to talk Blink and see what. I advise the same, brothers. If I see one more time from you and your girlfriend with this. Don't threaten me, idiot. We never lied. It's a promise. And then when you hit him with the actual lie, whatever. Guilty. Can we stop with the petty shut?
One of the funny things he said after all this was like, if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. So he was turning it around on me. When he'd used the song as leverage, he said, if you cared about your fans...
Oh, fuck, man. There's a voice message in there?
Cool, at this point, I lost all patience. One of the funny things he said after all this was like, if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song.
Oh, it was Ren? Cool. If you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. Just saying. The original contract didn't have a master split. If you want to chase a breach of contract, you could. You're letting your pride and ego get in the way, mate. I'm not trying to chase shit with you except my bag. Once I get paid, you can do whatever you want with the song. I don't give a fuck. Doesn't sound like an artist to me. Just pay me and let's end this shit, for fuck's sake. Yeah, you trying to put squeeze on our boy, man.
So he was turning it around on me. When he'd used the song as leverage, he said, if you cared about your fans, you leave it up for them. Then he said, I'm letting my pride and ego get in the way because I'm not paying him money that I didn't think he deserved for selling a stolen beat, right? He's saying that that's my ego. It's my ego's fault. And then he's just saying, he kept saying, just pay me, let me get my bag, I want the money, just give me my money. I explained to him again, like, dude, I'm not the person that pays you the money. I've explained this to you so many times. It's the publisher. And he's like, all right, cool.
Dude, how many times I'm not a publisher? That must bring you into public. Your music sucks, by the way. Heart emoji. You're a child, Lan.
It finally seems to sink in that, like, I haven't stolen this man's money. I haven't taken a penny of this man's money. The publisher was at fault for not registering it properly, and they're resolving that, and then he'll get his money from the publishing. I don't want a penny of that. I don't care about that money. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. He deserves a bit of money for making that part of the beat. Sure. He shouldn't have stolen a sample and sold it to me. Theoretically, he could have all of his publishing taken away, but even after all of this, I still agreed to give him a bit of a publishing split, just to shut him up, man. So it's like, I could have been even more petty and dug my feet in there, but I just want this situation over with. So the song's down. The funniest comment that I'm going to end this on, because this is going to be some album artwork, by the way. Single artwork, sorry. This is the next announcement. He goes, alright, peace. Your music sucks, by the way. Which is really funny, considering, you know, the message earlier where he told me that it was an honour, or it was like, it was really good to work with me. You know, funny.
No, because people say things that think is going to get him stuff. When he's no longer getting what he wants from you, his truth comes out, brother.
Wait, crap! Oh, god damn!
Let's do it, baby. That was taking way too long. Jesus Christ, buddy.
It's funny, hypocritical. Funny. But yeah, sure, my music sucks, brother. Cool. That's going to be the single artwork, which leads me to my last point, ladies and gentlemen. I'm releasing a song about this whole situation, and it's dedicated to Kujo.
Nice.
And it's coming out next week. It's coming out a week today. It's called Kujo Beatdown. And I love it. We made an amazing video for it. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing. myself. I wrote all the lyrics myself, all the beats are mine. And that'll be going up on YouTube and Spotify next week. I'll also be recreating Sick Boi because those lyrics and that arrangement is mine. So for the anniversary of Sick Boi, the album, you will be getting Sick Boi, the beat, remade, bigger and better than ever, without Kujo's input on it. So
Nice.
look forward to that as well. And then there's also a third song dropping. There's a little bit more positive. Next week's song is angry, all right? I'm just going to warn you there. And before Kujo and his, like, before they start complaining about blah, 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 artistic license here, you know what? I've said my piece. I'm not interested in ruining your life, bro, but I felt like I needed to get it out somehow. And so I got it out somehow. And I hope you're watching this, man. And I hope you enjoy the song because it's dedicated to you, baby. Anyway, guys, I know this was a long video, but I wanted there to be no doubt as to where everything stood in this situation and why you don't have a song that means so much to so many people and means so much to me. But there will be a revamped version of that song coming very soon, guys. And if you've made it this far, thank you, sincerely. And I hope there can be no doubt as to this situation. Thank you.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll try and take a stab at this video very... Oh, hey, look at that. This, the charismatic voice or whatever. She watched that. I'll have to watch hers after. Oh, hey, look at that, dude. Knox Hill. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. All right, guys. Well, it's only been 2 hours and 20 minutes. We're going to have to jump off here and try and see if our boys are still online. There's no message in the Discord. Maybe he never got online tonight. Oh, well, then we are in no rush to leave. Let's talk about a few things. Law is very complicated. And little things make a big difference. Rin doesn't owe him anything when he breached his own contract. Now, Rin is a good sport and he's willing to pay him regardless. Because, I mean, he still wrote a beat that Rin liked. Just be careful who you let into your life, man. People will tell you all of the kindest things in the world when there's something to be gained from you. When that something is gone, you'll really know what they think. And most of the time, it's not good. Thank you for joining me on this. And now I look forward to diving deeper into Kujo Beatdown. Oh yeah. And Kujo, buddy, if you ever see this video, you got a good woman. She might have lied a little, but she went to bat for you and defended you, my guy. Stop looking about how the world has harmed you and take stock in the things that you do have and the things that are working out well. And next time someone gives you a fucking amazing opportunity like Ren did, you fucking take it. Dipshit.